they're doing wrong in life regarding their finances. I know what they're doing right in life. I've seen the fallout of our capitalist system as a bankruptcy trustee for over 27 years. So I have a good understanding of how our economic system works and how it fails. As an attorney in bankruptcy, you're just dealing with statutes and statutory construction. I've been attentive with the legislative sessions. I've not been a politician, but I understand and have worked on legislation and understand the legislative process, I think, and can tell you what something says and can interpret the bill or the proposal and give you an idea of what it's about. The last time can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. The last time I was up debating a constitutional proposition, it was 7/11 in 2004. I was at the Tulsa Press Club debating then Senator James Williamson, who was proposing Oklahoma's constitutional amendment to ban same-sex marriage, even though we already had the law. I had just been elected president of OKQ, which was then called Tulsa Oklahomans for Human Rights. I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. I hope that gives my progressive credentials, because not being known, I was told I needed to tell you a little bit about me on that side. I think we should probably start with some fact checks. Okay? Now, I don't want to complicate this with the facts, but I want to complicate this with the facts. I went to Yes on 79's website. They say this will keep us from being dead last. All right, either you trust the legislature or you don't. Does anybody in here trust the legislature?
No.
Okay. I put that one as unlikely. The legislature, let's talk about House Bill 1017. House Bill 1017, when it was passed, here's what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to help early childhood programs for at-risk 4-year-olds. It was supposed to emphasize core courses. It was supposed to encourage greater use of technology and innovation, reduce class size to 20 students, offer extended school year options, all-day kindergarten, raise teacher pay, better teacher training, replace the current tenure system with a streamlined due process system, school consolidation plan. About the only thing I think it really accomplished long-term was abolishing the county school superintendent. And I think most of you would agree.
No, I wouldn't. I was there.
It didn't do that?
It did the right things you just listed off. Our legislature destroyed it.
I'm sorry. That's the point I was making, is exactly the point you said. It was supposed to do all those things.
And it did.
But our legislature, over the course of a number of years, failed to live up to the promise of that and gutted it.
Beginning in 2010.
I think earlier than that, and we can have that debate. But the point being is that it's not been fulfilled. And here we are in 2016 with the exact same crisis. Now, crisis, yes. Out of crisis tends to happen change. Out of greater crisis tends to happen greater change. We talked about votes. What happens as a practical matter? If we vote for this, the public has been told this is a solution. Long term, it will be a fix. We know it's not. Are they going to vote for anything in the next year, the year after that, the year after that? Is the legislature going to do anything else to fix the problem next year and the year after that? I don't believe so. This is a constitutional amendment. That means that it would have to be voted on or repealed by the citizens. What constitutional amendments have we enacted that are now part of our problem? Limits on property tax votes, limits on income tax votes. Those are in our Constitution. We can't raise income taxes at the legislative level because it takes a supermajority of 66%. We can't do it, right? So it'll never happen. We enacted that as a constitutional provision, as a cap. What if we want to change the way we do education in 10 years? We've got a constitutional amendment that says we have this fund and we have to use it this way. Let me give you the really, go on with some of the fact checking and give you some really bad news. It'll invest in according to their website, it will invest in proven strategies to improve reading and high school graduation rates. No, it does nothing to say what strategies, proven or otherwise, that the money will be used for. Place the power back in the hands of Oklahomans. No, it does nothing to change the authority of the state school board or of the legislature for appropriations. Prohibits funds from being used for superintendent pay. Does anyone believe that the school district that wants to figure out how to raise superintendent pay is going to be able to find the money and make that work? Yes, I understand that there's an audit process, but I think that's more of a gimmick than anything else. Politicians have failed Oklahomans. That fact is true. Absolutely true. It's up to us to fix the funding crisis. No, it's not up to us to fix the funding crisis through this only mechanism. It's up to us to fix the funding crisis first by electing legislators that will be responsible. And second, to find a comprehensive long-term solution. And I can offer a couple of those. Number one is let's let local communities vote as much property tax or as much funding as they want to. And secondly, let's not penalize them with the state allocation formula for doing so. If that proposal would have been here today, I would have been all for it. Let me give you another proposal. If we wanted to raise 1.5 times the amount of money that this proposal raises, at least 1.5 times, all we would have to do is pass a constitutional amendment that repeals all tax reductions since 2004.
Okay.
All tax reductions since 2004, all tax credits enacted since 2004, and to compensate, we could actually double the income on the tax brackets. So if the tax bracket for 3% was $5,000 in 2004, we could make that $10,000 today. And we could raise $1 billion rather than $700 million. What was so wrong about the way we did things in 2004 that makes it so unpalatable today? I mean, I would like an answer to that question. It creates a constitutionally protected fund. This is important. It doesn't go into effect until July 1, 2017. The legislature doesn't have to appropriate the money next year when they meet. The governor doesn't have to call a special legislative session for July 2nd to appropriate the money. The school districts, however, they have to pay the $5,000 increase. The $5,000 increase isn't for this fiscal year's increase, so it's not a year-on-year increase. It's last fiscal year. I've got another minute. So whatever they were paid last year,
Write your questions here if you want.
they get $5,000 on top of that. I don't know that they got many raises this year, if any, but there's still that gap. Also, the most important point I want to make, we don't trust the legislature. So let's say that they take and they don't comply with this, and they steal $500 million from this fund. What happens? Well, the following year, the first $500 million of appropriations have to be put back in the fund. But then they can steal on the back end $600 million from it. And so then the following year, they have to put $600 million into the fund. And then on the back end, they can steal $700 million from it. And then we keep going on ad infinitum. I don't trust the legislature. I'm sorry. I trust that I can go vote for people that are responsible. I trust that I can show up in their offices and I can tell them that they need to be responsible. I trust that I can write letters to the editor, and I trust that I can get out on Facebook and other social media and I can tell my friends what's wrong and what some solutions are. I trust that people like you and like those that signed on the petition can actually get together and come up with long-term solutions. But if we fix this, and if the legislature screws us over once again, we'll never get another fix.
Okay, here's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna recognize you for questions. Like I said, try not to have